Okay, this video by Amazing Atheist is over an hour long. So I don't think my audience is going to want to sit through all that, especially after I respond. It'll be 2 hours long. So I just replied to the shit that's relevant, that my audience actually cares about, and basically just broke it up into bite-sized pieces. The bite-sized pieces are a little out of order, just a little bit, because I took some pieces from the middle and put them in the beginning, so that most people that leave, like halfway through, like most people do, they'll be able to see these pieces and these important pieces before they leave. But if you want even more context, just go to the link in the description box. The original video will be there. Okay, let's start the video. Okay, I think you know that the elite, or the 1%, a lot of them are socialists and they want a one-world government.
No. That is the dumbest fucking statement I've ever heard anyone make in my entire fucking life.
Okay, so Amazing Atheist strawmans me here by pausing halfway through my sentence and attacking the first half of my sentence and not listening to the second half. The second half of the sentence says that there's also a lot of rich people that believe in freedom and capitalism. Now, there's some rich people that want freedom too. It goes back to that graph I showed you. There's rich people that are evil, and then there's rich people that are good. Just like there's middle-class people that are good and middle-class people that are evil. I'm making the point here that not all rich people are the same. Some are socialists, some are capitalists. So they can't all be evil, no matter what your ideology is, because some of them are going to agree with you. The point I was making was that what makes people evil is not whether they're rich or not, but instead how much authoritarian government they want. But he pauses in the middle of my sentence, and all he hears is me just saying that, yeah, there's some elite people that are socialists. So he took it that all elite people are socialists. So he strawmanned my argument, even though that's not what I was saying. I wasn't saying all elite are socialists. I literally say a second later that half of them are fucking capitalists. And then strawmans me and then calls me retarded for like 3 minutes straight. Check it out. He's the most vile, disrespectful person I've ever seen on YouTube. Bar none.
This guy just fucking bold-faced looked you in the eyes with his two fucking soulless mask holes and told you that the primary beneficiaries of capitalism want to dismantle capitalism and want to empower workers, the same workers that they themselves crush. This guy is a fucking retard. I'm not even saying that in like a hyperbolic, I'm not being politically incorrect, okay? I am literally identifying this person as mentally deficient.
That makes it even worse, because if you truly believe I'm mentally deficient, then you saying it in the most disrespectful way possible isn't good.
This guy should be in some kind of fucking care facility being fucking spoon-fed applesauce by a fucking social worker or some shit. And they should scoop it up off his dribbling ass chin and put it in his puckered fucking lips.
So I should be in a mental home and lose all my rights because we disagree on YouTube. Am I getting this right? But the fact is, we don't really disagree. You just misunderstood me by taking me out of context by responding to literally just a fragment of my sentence. Don't disagree with TJ Kirk on fucking YouTube because he'll promote that you should lose all your rights.
Because he's that goddamn stupid, okay? I don't mean to be ableist with this.
Yeah, yes you do.
But this is why you don't let a fucking retard jump on cam and start talking fucking talking points. Because then you get stupid shit like this.
Stupid shit I didn't even say. I didn't say all rich people are socialists. I said some of them were. Some of them also like freedom, I said.
Way earlier than I'm used to, and go to the dentist and get a fucking crown done. And that was another fucking 4 hours in the goddamn dentist chair. My fucking gums were throbbing with fucking pain. Pure white hot fucking agony. I was in so much pain that I came home and just immediately collapsed to sleep because I could not possibly even stay awake. But even in this is more painful. I would rather do that shit again than have to watch this fucking garbage.
Yep, and I gotta remind you once again, garbage that I didn't even say in the first place. But here he is insulting me in the worst ways possible anyways.
This is ass. This is banal fucking drivel. This is gobbledygook. This has no bearing or resemblance to fucking reality in any way, shape, or form. This is just a wall-to-wall fucking journey through the most deplorable fucking garbage that you could possibly ideologically conceive of. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bunch of self-refuting garbage. I honestly can't even believe that this person would have the nerve to speak to someone like me who is just like leagues and leagues above him in every fucking by every conceivable fucking metric, okay? I don't care. Like, this person is fucking so disgustingly beneath me.
If you're listening to this, never disagree with Amazing Atheist, because he will treat you with so much disrespect, it will be unbelievable. Like, he takes disagreements so fucking personally, bro. He's so authoritarian, it's unbelievable. Just the mere thought of someone disagreeing with him sends him into a rage.
You're a fucking moron.
Government should be voluntary. It shouldn't be done by force on the people without their consent.
Government is voluntary. That's the idea behind democracy, stupid.
And how are you supposed to argue against somebody that literally thinks that government is voluntary? I mean, can you opt out of taxes? No, you can't. So how is it voluntary? They'll take you to court, and if you don't go to court, men with guns will come and take you away. If you resist, they'll kill you or throw you in a rape cage for a good portion of your life. But it's totally voluntary, right? It's people who want to use government to take your freedom away. That's the enemy. I mean, what do you think really is the problem?
Your freedom to do what, bitch? What freedom are you worried about the government taking away from you?
Every law passed is a freedom lost. And not to mention they want to take away guns, like 90% of guns. Whatever they consider assault weapons, which is just semi-automatic weapons, which is 90% of guns, as I mentioned, which is anything that you pull the trigger once and it fires once. Okay? They want to get rid of all those guns. Lever actions and shotguns will be the majority of the guns left. If the government doesn't let you have the freedom to defend yourself, then what freedoms do you really have?
You afraid they're going to fucking take away your fucking terrible green screen? You afraid they're going to take away your little cool snake logo, don't tread on me? Shut up. God. What fucking planet are you from, brah? What planet are you fucking from, bitch?
Why should you have to give it up? Just because you're jealous and you didn't work hard enough to earn it.
Shut up.
The problem is...
What are you... You're just jealous of my YouTube success, bitch. You're just jealous that your stupid video about me can't even touch the views of the video that you're fucking responding to, huh?
No, you see, for that comparison to work, I would have to be acting like you, and I would have to want the majority of your money because you're more successful on YouTube than me. That's how that would work. Oh, TJ Kirk is successful. I'm not. I get to take TJ Kirk's money. That's TJ Kirk logic.
I mean, I know I'm not as big as I fucking used to be. Still bigger than you. Guess I'm doing better in the fucking the fair competition of YouTube, right?
The point isn't measuring dicks, dude. The point I was making was the fact that you wanted to take the money of everybody that's more successful than you because you're jealous of their money. The point wasn't who's a more jealous person.
You just jealous of my success, bitch.
Look, I'll be honest with you. You comparing your YouTube channel success to my YouTube channel success out of nowhere in a way that was completely uncalled for seems pretty vain and pretentious. Chelsea, nothing else.
Uh-huh.
You literally think stealing people's rights via government is righteous while keeping
what
your own
rights?
money is thievery.
What
It
rights,
makes no sense.
dipshit?
Like I already said, the guns, they're already trying to take the right of self-defense away. Let's not forget about prohibition on drugs. You said in this very video that you think all drugs should be legal. So do I. So yeah, that's rights that they're taking away. There's 50,000 federal laws out there, and that doesn't include state and local laws. So take your fucking pick, bro. Literally anything that's considered unsavory by your neighbor is already illegal.
You know? Yeah, it doesn't make sense because no one said that, stupid. We, who watches The Watchmen? Us. Stupid.
Okay, let's just say you allow government to do what it wants. It takes away guns, the right to self-defense. Suddenly, how are you going to prevent the government from being authoritarian? You said the people are going to regulate the rulers. How the hell are they going to regulate the rulers? Are they going to write a stern letter?
What am I missing? That's what I advocate, stupid. No, they don't, dipshit. In this country. That's where the money went, stupid. Corporations, the only reason corporations don't use violence is because the state has a monopoly on violence.
Exactly.
If you got rid of the state, those same corporations would all of a sudden employ goons once again. In fact, they already still do.
Okay, historically, businesses have never, ever had goons that force their product onto you with the barrel of a gun. It's never happened. And let's just say that it does happen someday. Then, by definition, they'd be a government, not a corporation or a business, because corporations and businesses are voluntary by definition. And if it's not voluntary, it's involuntary, and it's a government.
It's just the goons don't go out in the street and, bludgeon you in the fucking face anymore, at least not in this country.
Notice that he's not giving any examples of goons being used to force their product onto you through a barrel of a gun. Notice he doesn't give any examples whatsoever.
A lot of fucking corporations still use violence to get their fucking goods made in other countries. A lot of corporations would still use violence covertly in this country.
The only thing I could think of that works in that manner would be the mafia. But the mafia doesn't honor natural rights, and they're not voluntary, which makes them share more in common with government than businesses. Shoot them if they did anything involuntary. That's how government should be. Government should be voluntary. It shouldn't be done by force on the people without their consent.
Government is voluntary. That's the idea behind democracy, stupid.
So the government's 100% voluntary. So then why is it that if people don't pay taxes, they go to prison? It's kind of forced on you. Using state thugs who use violence. They'll throw you in a rape cage if you do a drug they don't like. As I mentioned before, the state is pretty much the mafia, as in their service isn't voluntary. It's through coercion and violence. They're kind of like the mafia, the government. Forced on the people without their consent.
Government is voluntary. That's the idea behind democracy, stupid. But you can't have... Wait, how is... It would be completely impossible to have a government that everyone agrees on. If there has to be 100% assent to any government, then no government could exist.
Why couldn't government just be voluntary? Where people that want to opt in, and they pay taxes, and they pay for the services for everyone. And if people want to chip in, they can, but they're not forced to. That would give us a government that's much smaller, because there'd be less people paying taxes. So that means you get to keep your rights and keep your money. Pretty cool, right?
Because even the simplest moral edict, like murder should be illegal, there's always going to be someone who's like, nope, don't think so. Well, we don't have the consent of the governed. That guy does not agree to the murder is bad fucking rule. So this is stupid. The best we can fucking do is have a democracy. The best we can do is have a system whereby the people have an ability to make their fucking complaints known.
But it's still not voluntary. Voluntary means that the government would just be community that the community pays for voluntarily. You could opt in to pay for it, or you could opt out and not pay for it. It'd be a charity, essentially. That's what government should be. It shouldn't be this huge thing that can control every aspect of your entire life and take away every right that you love away from you. And do it all using violence of state and throwing you in a rape cage. Or just shooting you if you resist. No, it should be voluntary. You can opt out and it can't take your rights. If you want to pay for things that you believe to be essential to society and you believe that government's the only way of doing it, then donate. Opt in and you'll help pay for those things. But it's not needed. It's not required. That's what government should be. And that's what government would look like if it was voluntary. What we have today doesn't look like that, TJ.
I want to build a road from point A to point B. Well, you can't do it because you don't have the consent of every fucking landowner along the way.
Why can't the businesses pay for the roads? And you say that you can't build roads through people's property. Well, they do it with government, right? So how do they do that? They incentivize them with money. Same thing that the businesses could do. There's no reason the businesses can't incentivize people with money.
But how do you even own land? How do you even enforce private property rights without some sort of like overarching government institution? If you don't have that, then Coca-Cola can just come along and say, this land is ours. Well, no, it's not. My family's lived here for generations. Well, we have more money, so fuck you. Here's our fucking thugs. Where are your thugs? You can't afford any? Well, then get the fuck out.
Dude, that would make national news. And Coca-Cola would lose all their customers if that happened. So no, they wouldn't do that. At some point, you got to trust someone with freedom. It might as well be the people.
Right! Wait. Where did we lose the plot here? What am I missing? That's what I advocate, stupid!
How in the hell in your mind do you advocate for that? That doesn't even make sense. You want an overarching government that's authoritarian, that strips you of all your rights, and you think that's giving the power to the people? What the fuck? You got a government that takes 40% of your income and puts you $30 trillion in debt, and enacts over 50,000 federal laws, not including state and local laws, and you don't see them as a parasite. No. You see the rich people earning their money as a parasite. Like, them keeping their own wealth is stealing in your eyes. But the government stealing your wealth using violence is okay to you. In fact, that's just giving power to the people. What the fuck? Doesn't make any sense, TJ.
What's the disagreement? How is it then in the best interest of the people to be exploited by a bunch of capitalistic douchebags? I mean, you don't look rich. I don't understand you fucking people.
You don't have to be rich to understand that if you earn something fair and square, it shouldn't be taken away.
Okay. Police are... Well, first of all, the police... I mean, I don't know where you live, but police are rarely 15 minutes away. But even if they are, you know, like, that's not really a great art. I mean, like, how many... If you can afford private security, if you're like a fucking millionaire and you can, like, afford to have, like, a private security guard guarding your, like, fenced-in Beverly Hills fucking palace, then I guess... Yeah, it makes sense to do that. But for most of us who can't afford that, police are a pretty good fucking option.
You'd be surprised what you could afford if you weren't paying 40% of your income in taxes. You could afford private security for your apartment complex. Hell, even for your place of work, if everybody pitched in. It'd be easy peasy lemon squeezy. In fact, you would have a lot of money to spare because you're not paying for a huge authoritarian government anymore.
Now, there's problems with policing in this country, obviously, and those have been enumerated by me and others several times.
Yes, exactly. That's my point. That's another one of my points. Police, they suck because they could pull you over for not wearing a seatbelt. They could pull you over for being on your phone. They could pull you over for anything, for having like too much tint on your windows. They could pull you over for virtually anything. Obviously, the more times you run into the police, the more chances of police actually harming you occurs. Private security can't do any of that. Private security can't pull you over for tint, can't pull you over for driving without a seatbelt, can't pull you over for being on your phone in the car. They'd leave you the hell alone for the most part unless you were trying to harm someone else. And frankly, that's the only time police should ever be involved in anything, is if the police are trying to prevent someone from harming someone else. Private security would literally solve the police brutality issue that we have in this country. But you're against it because you're against businesses? Laughable.
But, you know, nonetheless, if someone's like coming to your house to murder you or something, not a bad idea to have some people in society whose job it is to stop that from happening.
Dude, if there was less government and police, there would be private security at literally every business and every apartment complex. It would solve the need for police.
Also, honestly, not a bad idea to have a gun.
That's the spirit. How much will be enough to fix climate change?
$30 trillion. The fucking money, the debt was like, we didn't accrue the debt trying to fight climate change. If we were $30 trillion in debt, expressly for the purpose of fighting climate change, and we had failed, then maybe you would have some fucking vague semblance of a point. But that money wasn't, like, we're not in the hole because we fucking threw a bunch of money down the climate change fucking hole. We've barely spent a dime on that shit.
The government takes 40% of your income, plus their sales tax, plus they put you $30 trillion in debt. They had unlimited money is the point, and they still haven't solved the climate change issue. That means something, TJ. It's clearly not in their interest. They clearly just want your money, period. And any money that they do get, they'll waste. I don't think any amount of money will change the weather, dude. I'm sorry, but you're...
Oh, well, it will. Sorry, scientific fact would have to disagree with you on that, bucko. Sorry, are you uncomfortable with actual, like, factual reality and empirical evidence? Because, yeah, it would. Human beings have drastically altered weather patterns on this planet, stupid ass. Are you really going to fucking sit here and deny the climate crisis? I mean, like...
When did I deny the climate crisis? All I said was that the government can't fix the climate change issue with money. Because if they could have, they would have by now. Okay? I mean, they got to put us $60 trillion in debt to fucking start fighting climate change? Well, how much money do they actually need, TJ? Jesus fucking Christ. I never said that humans don't impact the environment. They do. But a lot of the climate change is natural. And there isn't fuck all you can do about it. Then he goes and does research on what the 10 hottest years are. And they're all recent, apparently. But I never claimed that climate change wasn't an issue. It's just a fucking straw man he came up with.
And you're going to fucking sit here and deny that human beings have changed the climate? We know exactly how the human fucking industrialization has impacted fucking global climate. And you're really... Science is still out, bro. Cigarettes are totally healthy. 3 out of 4 doctors agree. Winston's, bro.
Now there's some rich people that want freedom too. It goes back to that graph I showed you. There's rich people that are evil, and then there's rich people that are good. Just like there's middle-class people that are good, and middle-class people that are evil. Class...
I thought... Wait, wasn't one of your earlier arguments contingent on the idea that everyone's evil? Wasn't your whole argument like, well, who are we supposed to put in charge if people are evil?
No, the argument I made was that leftists believe that... humanity is evil, so they cannot be trusted with freedom. We got to have rulers. And my argument was that those rulers are made up of those same very people. So they're evil too, right? By your logic, not my logic. I don't think everyone's evil and shouldn't be trusted with freedom. I think the opposite. I think people are mostly good and should be trusted with freedom. In fact, I think having rulers is a bad idea. But what's hilarious to me, and the takeaway out of this, is that this is just another argument that you misunderstood. Like all my arguments, you misunderstood. Even though they were clear. They were clear. You just keep pausing in the middle of sentences and misunderstanding me. Okay, next I talk about how rich people drive the world forward by making jobs. And he disagrees with that too. Listen. Drive the world forward, and they create a lot of jobs in the process. And they don't deserve
No, they don't.
That. And they don't deserve
okay. You're a fucking moron. If I open a fucking sandwich shop, okay? Let's say I do that. I'm a businessman. I open a fucking sandwich shop because I'm a businessman, all right? I'm going to open a sandwich shop. I'm going to sell fucking sandwiches, okay? And I make a good-ass motherfucking sandwich, okay? And people come and they eat the sandwich, all right? They come and they eat it, and they pay for it. And I have people that I pay to make the sandwich, all right? Have I created the jobs of the people making the sandwich? No. You know what created those jobs? The people with hungry bellies.
Are those workers going to go work at a place with no building, with no bread, with no sandwich meat? Are they going to get customers without advertising? I think not. They need advertising to show that this business exists in this location. They also need a manager to manage things. Hell, a kitchen might be useful too, and those aren't free. Product doesn't just appear because there's want for a product. It doesn't work that way, amazing atheist.
That came to that sandwich shop. The people with hungry bellies who want a fucking sandwich, they go into the sandwich shop and they say, give me a sandwich. And I have to hire people to make the fucking sandwiches, right? So who created the fucking job? Not me. I didn't create it. The hungry people created it. You know how I could fucking prove it? Because let's say I open a fucking sandwich shop, but I'm like, you know, instead of bread for my sandwiches, we're going to put it between two big old bricks. We're going to put and instead of putting like meat on the sandwich, we're going to put dog shit. So basically I open a store, same location, same fucking everything. And instead of selling sandwiches, it sells two bricks with dog shit in between. How many jobs do you think that place is going to fucking create? None. Because you know what? There is demand for sandwiches. There ain't no fucking demand for fucking bricks with dog shit in between.
Jobs are something that's ready to go. There's already a kitchen. There's already food. There's already a manager. There's already a building. There's already advertising. Making an environment where you just insert workers, that's a job. And I'm sorry, that costs money. That takes risk. That takes someone investing. Sometimes a rich person. What you're saying is, oh, well, hungry bellies, that's what makes jobs. Okay, so are they going to go out into the middle of the desert and get food? You make no fucking sense, bro. Demand for a product isn't a job. What the fuck? And while it's true that people make the demand for the product, that has nothing to do with government. Government doesn't make the demand for the product. So what's even your point? If government was in charge, you'd have a sandwich shop in a place where you'd want a farm, and a farm where you'd want an apartment building.
And usually, the only reason that they're in a position to exploit that demand is because they already have money.
TJ, you don't seem to understand. A lot of people start off poor and they get rich. That doesn't occur in your fucked up version of reality. In your reality, that never happened ever, but it happens all the time.
That's why the fucking social mobility in this country is dog shit. Because the only people who have enough money to start a business are people who already fucking have money, who come from a rich family.
Yes, in your delusional reality, the only people that have ever had money came from their family. It never, ever was earned.
You know how hard it is to fucking actually pull yourself up by your bootstraps? It's impossible physically to do that.
That's literally an analogy, bro. That's not something that's supposed to be physically done.
That's why it's the metaphor we choose for it, because it's literally impossible to do.
Dude, most analogies are nonsensical. Is that why we choose most analogies? Because they're all nonsensical? It's just an expression. The reason that analogy was chosen was not because it's physically impossible to do, was because it describes the act of pulling yourself up by working. It's not something you're supposed to take literally, TJ. It's not something that you're supposed to take literally.
Oh, man. And by the way, most of those socialist countries he references, where people are starving, are ones that are, like, brutally suppressed by America. You know, Venezuela has, like, how many fucking embargoes and shit against it?
He just said that socialist countries fail because of sanctions from the U.S. That means he believes that socialist nations need access to capitalist nations to survive. And this guy calls me an idiot.
Do you have any idea how much money the U.S. government funnels into the fucking forces that destabilize that country? Same deal with Cuba, by the way. America does everything in its power to sabotage socialist countries because we don't want them to be success stories that the rest of the world can look to.
And he calls right-wingers conspiracy theorists. Okay, I'm done with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. Later.